Rick Barnes and Tennessee went out, added what could be the final piece to the puzzle to get Tennessee to its first ever Final Four next season, and possibly even could Tennessee be in that running for a national championship. Juke Harris today commits, signs, withdraws from the NBA draft. He is a Vol. It is the missing piece to the puzzle as far as what Tennessee needed. They do have one scholarship or one roster spot remaining. I'll get more into that here in a few minutes. But make sure you hit the like, hit the share, the subscribe. News came out last night. Chris Lowe, who's now with Rivals on 3, he had put out, I think it was on his Lowdown podcast possibly, that the expectation was that pretty much soon Juke Harris was going to commit to Tennessee. The big question with Juke Harris, it's not really been as Tennessee led recently. It's been what would happen with the NBA draft. The latest NBA mock draft that I'd seen through ESPN.com had Juke Harris 33 overall to Brooklyn. That's not first round. That's not a guarantee by any means. Some of the rumors going out today are that Juke Harris's agent wanted $5 million. And I did see Fran Fraschilla talk about it with Rick Barnes. Said Rick Barnes has always played by the rules when maybe others haven't. Now Rick Barnes, he said, has unlimited NIL money. And I'll be honest, I don't really care what they paid on it, because here's my thought on it. All right, if you want to compete in today's athletics, you better spend the money on it, because I can tell you right now, the same people who will complain that they paid the money would be the same ones next season if they fell short, saying, well, they're just going cheap and they're not serious about winning down here. Good on Tennessee. Good on this athletic department all for supporting Rick Barnes, for giving him the money to now go out here and get what he needed. And there's no doubt about it. In my mind, this is the #1 portal class going. I saw Jeff Goodman today put out, college basketball writer, top 5 portal class. They didn't even have Tennessee in it. That's ludicrous. That's totally ludicrous there. What Tennessee went out and did was just absurd in the portal. Slick Rick got him in, got the job done. Now Juke Harris didn't visit camp. He'd been there before during his high school recruitment. Juke Harris visited Michigan officially. Tennessee went in the next day. North Carolina was in around the same time as well. But Tennessee went in with a plan. Last week, Tennessee went out to California, met him with the NBA Combine or where he was working out for that. And it may not be the Combine, just where he's preparing for the NBA draft. And it seems to me like they closed it at that point. The big thing was going to be whether he pulled out of the draft or not. He did announce today, committed, he signed, he withdrew from the NBA draft on it as well. What's that add to the fold? I mean, that's your score right there. I seen the comparison made here. You know, you look at the transfers. Dalton Connect, Chaz Lanier stand out the most. From what I saw, Jamie Shaw of Rivals on 3 said that he's going to be more of that Dalton Connect than he is Chaz Lanier. He can create. He can do the matchups. Averaged over 21, over 6 rebounds last year. Shot, mid-40s, field goals, 33% three-point range on it. He was one of the biggest scorers in the country last year. On that, one of the biggest improvements on it. Probably one of the best scorers in the country as well. Not necessarily in points per game, but as far as efficiency goes on it. What was Tennessee missing this year? If Jacoby Gillespie was your most consistent guy throughout the year. Nate Ament, really good as well. But, if one of those guys were off, it was pretty rare to have them picked up. Now, you had other guys who would pick them up occasionally on it. But you look at who left versus what they've added. They added over 100 points per game on all their 7 incoming transfers with it. The amount of offense they added versus the amount of offense that went out is just night and day. It's a huge difference. Rick Barnes, we've said it. We've all said it that we message amongst one another on the the message board here and stuff. Missing that defense is not going to be an issue with this team. I mean, we saw it last year. There were some guards totally lit Tennessee up. Will it happen next year? Possibly. I mean, it's more of an offensive game now. The fact that Rick Barnes went out, and he's went out and added offense all the way around. He's serious about winning. He figured it out with it. You just can't, with one or two scores, get it done. And they did pretty good the last few years getting to the Elite Eight with one, maybe two scores on them. I mean, you look at the year when they played Purdue with Dalton Connect, he carried that team with it. He would get some help occasionally, but again, in that game against Purdue, it was him on it. 2 years ago, it was Chaz Lanier, Jordan Gainey. I mean, you get Ziegler and some that would chime in on it as well, but they don't have the scoring that they have now. This past season, it was all Jacoby Gillespie, Nate Ament for the most part. Estrella, I think Estrella added at times. Estrella, a little inconsistent at times. Tennessee went in and beat out the national championship Michigan. They beat out North Carolina, the home state team. They beat out big-time teams in this process for the 7 incoming recruits. So now you've got Juke Harris to go along with Cal transfer Day Ames, who averaged 16.9 points last year. Jalen Harrelson from Notre Dame, 16.2. Tyler Lundblade, who was the first one in the fold, who got the ball rolling, which right after Tennessee got eliminated. It was a couple days later, he's in the fold. 15.6 at Belmont. Terrence Hill Jr., 15 points per game at VCU. He's going to run the point. Then you added Miles Rubin, Loyola Chicago, 11.3 points. Braden Liu from Kennesaw State, 10.9 points per game. This is not even including, obviously, your freshman class. You're adding Chris Washington, who's their highest ranked. Ralph Scott, who comes in next. Of course, they had Favor eBay on campus this past weekend, 7'1" out of Mount Zion Academy. He's ranked 83rd now, according to On3 and the updated rankings. Then you got Manny Green, you got Marquise Clark as well. Favor eBay, if they add him, would complete the roster. I know some of you talked about, well, they should have 3 spots. They don't. It is 2 spots that they had prior to Juke Harris. Now they've got 1 left. It's got to be a big guy. eBay would fit that. You know, what I don't know about it, how much of a project is he? How much can he contribute there as well? I mean, you really don't need – I think you want to have a guy, obviously a big guy who can score. Don't get me wrong on that. But they're going to be fielding 3 and 4 guys at a time who can score the basketball. You're not going to be able to key on one guy and shut this team down next year. So let's let you know, what are we looking at as far as starting lineup goes? I saw Mike Wilson, Grant Ramey, VolQuest.com today gave their predictions on it. And I kind of go with Wilson. They only had 1 difference on it, and I liked his reasoning on it. Here's what I think you're going to see. Terrence Hill Jr. starts at the point guard. Now, it's going to be either or. It'll either be Tyler Lundblade or Day Ames at the 2. Wilson went with Lundblade, and he said because Lundblade's that shooter who can fit in. He's a little bit different stylistically than Ames is. Ames is going to be more that creator, I feel like. He could be that dude off the bench, that 6th guy that comes in, gives a spark when it's needed. Of course, Juke Harris at the 3 is going to be the main scorer. Jalen Harrelson at the 4, Dwayne Brown at the 5. I think that's what you're looking at as far as your starting lineup. Of course, then you're going to see it'll either be Lundblade or Ames at the 2 guard spot. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Whichever one it's not will be in off the bench pretty quick. Then you're going to have Braden Liu in there. You're going to have Miles Rubin in there as well. Which of your freshmen? You're going to have some freshmen step up. Chris Washington is the main candidate for that to me. I've seen people talk about Manny Green, about how he's more, as far as his body, maybe ready than Ralph Scott. Ralph Scott, they say, has got a very high ceiling, but maybe a little raw right now. And so I think that's kind of where you're going. That's a solid line. This will be Tennessee's best offensive team since the Grant Williams, Admiral Schofield team. And that was, that went six deep. That's not even including guys like Fulkerson, Pines, who would contribute. And I can't remember who else was on that team at this point. I'm not going to look it up either. But I know your top 6 were very solid on that team. The fact they only made the Sweet 16, which Lamonte Turner still was not fouled Carson Edwards to this day, but it's a moot point. Now, this team will no doubt be Rick Barnes' best shot to get a Final Four, possibly even a national championship with it. This is, you're adding between the 7 guys over 100 points per game with them. What went out? Not much, man, as far as scoring goes. Not much. It's a significant upgrade as far as scoring. And I love it. I love what they've done. I don't care what they've spent. Good on them for spending the money. Good on them for having the initiative to win. Good on them for seeing what they need. And if you're going to be competitive, if you're going to win at the highest level, in this day and age, guys, you've got to spend the money. I'm happy they did. And now if they come up short, yeah, people are going to be out with pitchforks and stuff on it. But based on what Barnes has done, 4 straight Sweet 16s or more with not near as much offense. And this team's going to play defense. Make no mistake about it. They've got length on this team. They've got length. They got, they don't have necessarily that bruiser, but they've got what they need in there to get the job done. There's no doubt about it. And again, the big thing to me is there's not going to be any point where there's 1 score, maybe 2 at most on the court. There's going to be 4, and you never know, possibly even 5 guys on the court at one time who can score. It's been a big time portal window for Tennessee. Definitely Rick Barnes' best one yet. They got aggressive. They got them in. They took care of business. And you got to be pretty happy if you're Tennessee. If you're not happy with this, man, I don't know what to tell you on it. I got to be honest on this. If you're not happy and you're just throwing it in, I would just sit out basketball season. That's just my opinion on it. Everybody's entitled to their opinions, but this is a great window. They've gone out and done everything that we've all said they need to do. I don't know what more you can ask for now. The proof's going to be in the pudding. The proof's going to be on the court. And I feel pretty confident in what Rick Barnes has, that he's going to get the job done next year. Will it be a championship? I don't know. But I think it's very, very realistic and going to be a very, very good opportunity that Tennessee reaches their first ever Final Four in program history. I am going to put some baseball content out later this evening. I want to talk about the weekend, what's ahead for them. I'll try to put that out here probably around 8 o'clock or so. Have a great rest of your evening. This is Frank. This is the House of Orange, and I'll see you when I see you.